This is the next question, I should say, from Los Angeles, California. I recently saw a motorized mask that's supposed to draw air in and remove dust and harmful particulates. The question is basically, what's my view of these? Well, I've seen these as well, and my view is that this appears to be a gimmick. I'm not sure why a motorized mask is needed. Masks that have purge valves or large surface areas are relatively easy to breathe through. Now, I suppose I could motorize a pencil too, but why? What good would that do other than to increase the cost and increase the weight? The motorized mask that I saw is 120 grams, which is about 4.5 ounces. That's several times heavier than the highly efficient disposable N95 dust mask, which I recommend. These typically will weigh just under 28 grams or 1 ounce and likely cost less, and for doing practically the same thing. The Europeans have a different standard, FFP1 and 2, which I've talked about in other episodes. You can go back and search dust mask and find out more about these. Now, I've seen exaggerated claims that such masks remove harmful particulates, such as carcinogens, dust, smoke, and all other dangerous pollutants. These masks probably remove most of the small dust and a small percentage of vapors, certainly not all. To judge their value of the motorized mask, we need to understand something. We need to know how long the filters will work at high levels of efficiency. In other words, if the effectiveness of the carbon filter remains high only for 1 or 2 days, which is typical, that would mean the filter needs to be designed or is designed to be changed that often, every couple days. Now, instructions I've seen tell users to change the filter when airflow decreases, but excuse me, that's only going to indicate when excessive amount of dust has been collected. It won't tell you anything about vapors, because adsorbing vapors will have little to no effect on the flow rates. So it could be letting vapors pass and you wouldn't even know it. Thin carbon filters typically have a very short working life, which is why the more efficient systems use a larger amount and their filters are much thicker. The problem with thin carbon filters is that vapors pass through too quickly to be adsorbed. The dwell time is what's critical. Dwell time describes how long the vapor spends inside the carbon filter. Too short of a dwell time, and there'll be too little or no absorption of the vapors, so they pass through and inhaled or rather than to be removed. Forcing air through a thin filter with a motor just reduces the vapor's dwell time and would likely lead to inefficient absorption of vapors and allowing more inhalation to occur. Excuse me. Again. Also, many salon vapors are notoriously difficult to capture with thin carbon filters. For instance, ethyl methacrylate is one example. In my view, motorized dust masks will not work any better than many non-motorized dust masks of the high quality that I've recommended in other episodes. Now, I would not be recommending these devices for controlling vapors at all. The dust masks, they don't. Source capture ventilation systems are far superior choices for salons when it comes to vapors, as I've described in this episode and others. You can find out more about ventilation by using the search box found on the Face-to-Face with Doug Schoon website. You can find any other video where I've discussed this kind of topic simply by putting the search term in.